Hi Sagittarius, welcome back. This is a reading for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon and Rising. You might find it resonates more though if this is your Moon or Rising sign. So message is, interesting. Why did you choose them over me? I want you to trust me, trust that I will know the right time to take things to another level. We've got three messages. Okay, we have, it's sometimes hard to keep the faith when you are taking so long to commit. I'm interested to see how those fit in and why they would be grateful for that. Okay, we have a lady here and we have some birds. I embrace the love and power of my cherished self. I honor my divinity. And I trust my inner guidance. My soul knows the way forward. Okay. So let's see here, before we move into the tarot part, why are they grateful for you? The person on your mind, your romantic interest, why are they grateful? I think I'll come back to these messages after. Starting with these cards, I embrace the love and power of my cherished self. I honor my divinity. I trust my inner guidance. My soul knows the way forward. And I'm looking at this lady here. So I feel one of the most important reasons that your person is grateful for you is that you have, through two ways, which I'll get to, you have taught them how to value themselves and to find what is special within themselves and about themselves. And I think the two ways you've done this is through how you have interacted with them, how you have been, how maybe you began by cherishing them, which alerted them to the fact that there was something special within them that made you want to cherish them, and then they started looking within. And perhaps you set an example here in terms of trusting your intuition, trusting in this connection, and now your person is able to connect more with their intuition than they ever were before. The other way is by the way you carry yourself, the boundaries you set for yourself, the example you've set about how you expect to be treated. It's been very inspirational for your person. This feels very much like divine feminine energy to me here. So whether you are a woman or a man, whether you identify as being primarily in divine feminine energy or not, one thing your person is saying is something about specifically the way you have interacted with them, the way you've shown up in this connection. It feels very, very like an empowered divine feminine. It's receptive, but there's like a firmness behind it. You're not going to try and push her boundaries, her being the feminine, not necessarily woman. But still open, soft, receptive, gentle, but not a doormat, you know, definitely not a doormat here. With the birds, I'm thinking of communication. Birds, you know, sort of, I think if you think of pigeons delivering messages, so, and we've got the 7 here, looks like the 7 of Pentacles, and it's not like we've got a phone or something that would be a quick communication. Like if we sent a letter, it would take longer. So maybe you've been very patient with this person as well, and if communication hasn't been as quick or as forthcoming, you've not harassed them. I want you to trust me, trust that I will know the right time, yes, to take things to another level. So I think you've been patient, even if it's been difficult for you at times. You haven't been knocking down this person's door, and that's something that they are grateful for. Okay, let's see, what else? Okay, this song, which to be honest, I don't know what the rest of the lyrics are, but from the snapshot I'm getting here, it seems like this is someone who, even if they do have a solid home in the practical, literal sense, they've maybe never felt at home, or they haven't felt cherished and valued by that many people, if anybody, but they feel with you that they do have a home. Maybe this is the first time they felt that they really wanted to settle down and commit to somebody in a romantic sense. Let's see. I honor my divinity. I just don't think this person thought that much of themselves before they met you. And I think part of that was because they were you know, whatever had been projected onto them by other people, they absorbed that and said, okay, well, if that's how people treat me, I guess that must be all I'm worth. And you showed them, no, you're worth more than that. I definitely think you've enhanced, triggered, something like that, this person's maybe more spiritual side, or it's not spiritual, just the side of them that wonders about things that haven't yet been proven by science, let's just say. You've definitely got them interested in connections like maybe soulmates, twin flames, or at least, at the very least, questioning how come this connection with you feels so different, so unique to the other connections I've had of, you know, whichever kind. Okay, so why did you choose them over me? It's sometimes hard to keep the faith when you're taking so long to commit. So definitely, I think they feel they've been taught some patience here, especially if you set a boundary and you either said or showed them, I'm not going to commit to this until I feel that maybe you're showing up in a better way. If there was some nonsense going on in the past, you weren't just going to settle for any kind of commitment or any kind of cycle, you know, or pattern of behavior with this person. I also think, though, that if there have been obstacles here, if it hasn't been smooth sailing, if it took you a while to get into your relationship, if you are together, or if you're not, and there have been things that have come up along this journey, I think this person's actually grateful for that, because I think they've learned a lot along the way. It's given them a chance to shift their perspectives, you know, about you, about themselves, about relationships, about life in general, about who they even are, perhaps. So I think these two messages are kind of saying, you know, I wasn't necessarily happy in the moment about the delays, and they do still bother me, or the issues that have come up, but actually, you know, I really am grateful for those as well, because there's been value in those more difficult themes that have come up, perhaps connecting them with things going on in their shadow side that they have healed and released, or have at least had a chance to identify. Also, if it hasn't been easy to get into a commitment with you, or if you are now together but it wasn't easy, it's like they had to dig up some sort of like independence, knowing that they don't need to be codependent on anyone or a situation. This isn't going to be for all of you, but maybe for some of you this is someone who kind of just moves from situation to situation, relationship to relationship. And even if objectively they seem confident and successful, this is someone who deep down maybe feared being alone. They'd rather form shallow commitments than be single, or something like that. So I know that won't be for all of you, but either way, I do think they're saying I've gained a deep level of understanding, appreciation of my own strength, and something around patience as well. I'm looking at the rose that she's holding. It's almost, you could very easily replace this rose with a pen. So, I mean, have you literally sent maybe handwritten letters to each other and they found that sort of you know, unusual in this day and age and kind of romantic or something like that? Maybe you did bring an element of like softness, romance, sort of artistry, I'm hearing, into their life, beauty in some way. Maybe you have an appreciation for things that take time, the aesthetics of things, and that's kind of rubbed off on them. It's less harsh, maybe. It's more, it's gentle, it's softer, you know, quite literally stopping to smell the flowers, that sort of thing. Okay, so let's keep these out. I probably will end up covering them with tarot cards anyway, but still, we'll keep them out. Okay, let's see. So this person you have in mind, your romantic interest or partner, person, why are they grateful for you? I do get the feeling that this is sort of, it's quite a complex, intense connection, situation, soul connection. It's not like this person showing up saying, oh, I'm grateful because we had fun and you made me feel really good. It feels like, you know, a situation that's been really intense, highs, lows, and everything in between. Something that maybe has either lasted for some time already, or if it's a relatively new, short thing, it's clearly been very impactful and powerful. And all of this stuff about self-reflection and your person's perspective growing, changing, how they're coming to really value and appreciate you. They could be at the beginning of that journey, and, you know, understanding that there's a lot of transformation that they can look forward to. Okay, so let's see. We've got the Nine of Pentacles. Yes, I really feel like you led by example here. So yeah, these will get covered for sure. And set the tone. So what Spirit's showing me is the Five of Coins to the Ten of Coins versus the Nine to the Ten of Coins. So if someone's in the Five of Coins and they jump into the Ten of Coins, which is like commitment, family, relationship, that sort of thing, and they go from the Five, it's because they're trying to just escape, to run away from a feeling of emptiness, lack. It's very fear-based. That's not necessarily the best way to step into a commitment, versus how you were showing up as the Nine of Coins, which is saying, I'm ready for the Ten of Coins because I'm in a good place. I've done work on myself. I've got things of value to offer. I'm feeling secure. So I'm going to be bringing that contentment and confidence and security into a relationship. I'm not going to be bringing fear, anxiety, stress, and sort of almost forming this codependent relationship, or bringing stress to my partner here. We have the Ace of Swords and we have the World. Oh no, before the World we have the Eight of Cups reversed, and then we have the World. Why is this person grateful for my viewer, please? We've got the Page of Swords. There's a real focus on clear communication here. I do get the feeling that there's a lot more you could have said to this person, maybe more conversations you could have had at this point, more truths you could have spoken, but you've been tempering yourself, almost speaking when you think it's appropriate, not trying to overwhelm this person, not forcing your communication on them, and in the meantime just minding your own business, doing your own thing. And if you've been wondering, do they even know this? There are still things left that I'd like to say or ask or speak about? Yes, absolutely. In fact, they appreciate that you haven't sort of, come in and just blurted everything out and then left. That you're kind of, maybe you say a bit, they digest it, you discuss something else, you both go away and think about it, then from there you talk more, that kind of thing. Temperance, for some of you, you could be wanting more communication, or you haven't heard from them in a long time, and they know this, and they also know that you haven't been trying every way possible to get their attention and to reach out to them, even though maybe you could. So we have Sagittarius energy here, the Hermit, Virgo, and we have the Four of Swords. Wow. Okay, what's on the back? Three of Cups. Okay, so I think the overwhelming message I'm seeing so far with Tarot is this real gratitude for you understanding that although you might be in this Nine of Pentacles position now, or maybe you have been all along, they most certainly were not. I keep seeing this Five of Pentacles, so they were in this place of fear, stress, anxiety, simply just taking what they could get, even if it wasn't really of value, even if they weren't being shown respect by other people and that sort of thing. And you have given them the time, the space to go on this journey, and if if this has been difficult for you, for the most part they feel that you've kept that away from them. And it's not that they don't want to be there for you and to know what's going on with you, but it's almost like maybe it would have been too much at times, or maybe not, but they want to acknowledge, look, you could have come and just dumped everything on me, but you didn't. And I know you did that for my sake, so I'm grateful for that, even if, you could have done. I'm not saying you couldn't have, but I know why you didn't, and I respect that, yeah, there's a feeling this person's pulled away for some reason, whether it was now or it is now and you're not in communication, or if it was in the past. And with the Eight of Cups reversed, that's coming back around for those two cups, so they always knew they would come back around. The World, we've completed a journey, Four of Swords, healing, and then I'm coming back in. So this is either what they intend to do or what did happen. And I just think in the meantime you were patient, temperance, you tried to keep yourself balanced, you kept yourself occupied with other things in your life. Now, maybe it wasn't always that way. Maybe it took you a while to get to this place of, accepting they needed time and doing your own thing, but this is what they're focused on. This is what they're grateful for. I'm really curious about these bits of communication I'm seeing, because it's coming up in a really almost unusual way, and I can't imagine that most of you are sitting there writing handwritten letters to each other. But there is something different about the kind of communication. Notes, something about notes maybe? I don't know, let's see. And I'm interested why they feel it's so important. See, Seven of Swords. It's like school children passing notes, you know, when the teacher turns around to write on the whiteboard or whatever. Seven of Swords. Did you, okay, whether you've handwritten anything or not, or, you know, texted or whatever, they could have kept all of the messages, and it's like maybe they look at them, because I'm looking at how she's carrying this book. So she's got some precious stuff in there she doesn't want anyone to get hold of. So maybe they look, I'm hearing compiled. I don't know if they did literally compile all of your messages and print them off or something, or I don't know, but it's like everything you've sent them, especially maybe if it's words of encouragement or something like that, they can dip into and take strength from it and encouragement. So maybe you've even tried to speak with them and you've not had replies, and you thought, you know, maybe they're ghosting me, or, you know, that sort of thing. I mean, I think that's a bit rude. They could have maybe said something, you know, but I do think they still are grateful for the messages and value them. Okay. Queen of Cups. Did you send them pictures as well? Is that why they're running around with these secret messages? Four of Pentacles reversed. I feel in some cases they're grateful because you maybe have sort of reignited something in them, in terms of reawakening their heart space, but also passion as well. So they're grateful for that too. Yeah, and whatever if you have sent messages of any kind, visual, written, I feel they have them all, and they, you know, often look at them, and they're grateful that they have those messages to look at. If they don't have pictures of you, if there are pictures of you online, not necessarily, you know, like 18 plus pictures, let's say, any sort of picture, I feel like they're grateful that they can go and look at those as well, like if it's on Instagram or something, if they have access to that. Okay, so let's see what else. What else is my viewer's person grateful for? Why are they grateful for my viewer? Look at this, generosity. Yeah, Six of Pentacles. I know it sounds really sad, but I think you're the first person who's been as generous as you have been with this person, with your time, with your effort, with your commitment, with maybe your words, your gestures. It's almost like you were the catalyst, because you, as I said before, because you valued them so highly from the get-go, it made them start to think, wow, am I worth being valued that much? And instead of just sort of siphoning your appreciation of them and just becoming codependent, it's like they've gone off on this hermit's journey to reflect and find their own self-worth, which, yes, takes longer in terms of the overall process, but it's definitely healthier. Look at that, we have the Emperor, and that sort of feels like the Emperor to the Empress, you know, that lady card we had? We've got Aries energy there. I had a dream last night, and I'm sharing this because we have a wolf and it might be relevant to somebody. So I looked out of my window. I was in a different house in this dream, and I had like this really big back garden, and it was all snowing, and the snow was starting to melt. And when I looked out of the window, there were loads of animals in the garden, but ones I wouldn't find in the garden, like wolves. There was a massive eagle. It was really disproportionate in size. It was the same size as the wolves, and had baby eagles around it as well. I think there were cats, which yes, of course, I would find in the garden, and rabbits as well. But they'd all come out because the snow had started to melt, and they could have access to the plants and like worms and bugs and things. And I noticed that the plants were looking really, really fresh, like they'd been cleaned by the snow. And I'm seeing this wolf sort of howling up at the moon. So I just feel that it's like a cleansing, a renewal. You've awoken something in this person. They're seeing the value in themselves, in life in general, in things around them that maybe had been covered in snow and were laying dormant and were just cold for a really long time. And they could feel that, you know, they're so grateful that they met you, because it's like looking out of your window. Let's say you live in a really urban place and seeing wolves. I mean, like, what? You know, how amazing would that be? So you're very rare, they feel. Yeah, okay. We have the moon reversed, the Pisces energy there, and we have the 10 of Pentacles. And this is establishment. I wonder if they've even had a change in work and career that's been inspired by you, or they've decided to study something, or maybe they were struggling to complete a course of study because they'd had enough, or maybe other things were getting in the way and you sort of supported them. Whether you know it or not, I feel a lot of the inspiration this person's taken from you has been done quietly without you knowing. Okay, we have the 8 of Cups reversed again, and it says retreat. So in the reverse, we're not retreating, we're coming back out. We have the 7 of Pentacles reversed. The 7 of Swords is back, this time reversed. We've got the Prince of Cups, Knight of Cups, introspection, 9 of Swords reversed, which says fear, Queen of Swords reversed, independence, 2 of Wands, planning, 6 of Cups reversed, innocence. Yeah, this person's been on a real journey, and there's so much focus on them making their way back around. They've, you know, connected with their heart space. They're in a more confident place. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's the overwhelming message as to why they're grateful for you. You've shown a lot of patience. This person's had room to grow. You know, they do have you on a pedestal because they're going on and on about, you know, what they've gained from you and how you've shown them things. I don't get the feeling that they feel that they've really taught you anything, or if they have, it hasn't been as much as you've shown and taught them, because they see you as already starting off in this 9 of Pentacles energy, and being this, you know, very calm, confident, comfortable, accomplished person here. So it's almost like you burst onto the scene in this perfect form in their eyes, and you've had to wait for them to catch up. So they're grateful that you have waited, or that you did wait. Now, maybe that's completely not true. In fact, it probably isn't. I'm sure both of you have been working on things, but that's kind of really what they're saying. Okay, so I think that's everything. So I think I will leave this here. 7 of Swords upright, 7 of Swords reversed. That's interesting, with the moon reversed. So this is, it feels like something they've kept quiet, something they've hidden, that they're feeling comfortable to show, release. Now, I do have one slight concern. You know how I was saying, have you sent them pictures? I do hope they're not releasing those pictures. I'm not reading it that way, because that would be way out of keeping with the rest of this and incredibly disrespectful. And all I've seen in terms of what this person's grateful for, you know, is how much respect and appreciation they have for you. So I don't think it's that. Let's see. The moon and the 7 of Swords reversed. I would imagine it's them feeling comfortable now to show a certain side of themselves. Oh, look, yeah, King of Pentacles, and it says power. Okay, good. So feeling confident to stand in their power. And, you know, I kept seeing that Five of Pentacles. Now we've got the King of Pentacles. This is someone who is just feeling like they can take care of themselves and others. They don't need to enter a commitment to gain stability. They can provide it. Okay, yes, amazing. Now with this power here, this is sort of like, you know, the power we have within, not power to control others. I do feel for a long time your person was maybe dumbing themselves down, making out that they were less competent than they were, to make the people around them feel comfortable, because they knew if they stepped too much into their power, these other people might start taking an issue, because then they can either also do the work and level up to match this person or drop away. And I think your person knew what they would do is alienate them and then drop away. And that's scary if you don't feel secure within yourself. And now they do. It's like they're saying, well, anyone who can't accept me as I am, if they need to leave, they can leave. I'm not going to live out half of my potential to keep other people feeling safe and comfortable. I'm going to step into my full power. And if they don't like it, well, that's unfortunate for them. Okay, so I think I'll leave this here. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was, you know, an interesting reading for you and just nice to hear what this person's grateful for. Also just a bit of like a